Hi viewers, welcome to Beginners Tech Road.
We know how to define a class and using the class how we can create the objects, nothing but instances of the class. The creating object is nothing but the instances of the class. So whatever the object we created, okay, to refer that object, you can use the this keyword. Okay, so this is about the very important use of this keyword. The main uses of this keyword, if you look at, the main thing is to qualify members hidden by similar names. The members is nothing but when you use any constructor or any method, okay, if you use the parameters, okay, so and also we have a members in the class. So usually the parameters whatever we use, we will use those to assign that values to the members. So in this case, suppose if we have the parameters whatever we used the names with the same name, if we already have in a class or as a member, so then how, which one going to consider, how it resolves to consideration, like whether the considering the member of the class and considering the parameter of the constructor or method. So that to differentiate that, to qualify the members which hidden by similar names, this keyword we can use it. We will discuss how that we can use it. And also the another usage is to pass an object as a parameter to other methods. So we created object, that object itself we want to pass as a parameter to the other methods. So that time also we can use this keyword. Okay, so the example, if we look at, see, the class we defined as a class name as a employee. In this class, we have taken 3 private fields, nothing but these are the members of the class: EMP name, EMP ID, basic salary. So this we assigned as a basic salary as a 30,000, as we hard coded, like a default we assigned a value. Okay, and then this we didn't assign any value, we just declared. So EMP name as a string type, EMP ID as a string type, and decimal. Even this can be, we can use as a number also. Okay, some EMP IDs maybe if we are using with the characters also. So I just put it here as an example as a string, and decimal, basic salary. So 30,000. So like this, these are the private fields. We know even the constructor, how we can create and what is the use of the constructor. So the constructor is implicitly, automatically, it calls whenever the object created. So let's take constructor. Usually the constructor will be the same of the class name. The constructor name should be the same of the class name. So public employee, and I am taking the 2 parameters for this constructor. And now these parameters I need to assign to this member. If you see now in this scope, we have a both member also is accessible, this parameter also accessible, but both having the same names. So how this we can, if we don't have this keyword, then it is not possible to assign because it will give a conflict, right? So that is the reason. So we can use this. So this is refers the object of this class, so that this EMP name is nothing but it's going to refer this private field. Without using this, this is going to refer this parameter. So that way, even if we use same names as a member, also as a parameter, even using this, you can ensure the properly the assigning to the member. So this is the use of the first one, what we discussed, like to qualify members hidden by similar names. So here if you see, both are same names. So using this, we can take exactly this is the member and this is the parameter. So this is about the first usage. Then second usage, how we can pass an object as a parameter to the other methods. So for that, what we will do, I will just take a one method, display employee in the same class, employee class. So I am going to use like to display the whatever the name, whatever the employee ID, and then I want to calculate a basic like a PF on basic salary. So for that, I am going to use an additional class, utility class, in that calculate PF1 method. So we will discuss. See, in this method, so the console write line name and ID, and then here name and ID, so that it displays name in one line, and as I used a new slash new line literal, so ID will be in a second line. Then in the second line, in the third line, basic salary will be whatever the basic salary we assigned as a hard coded 30,000 default we assigned, that will be displaying here. And then here I am using a method which is available in another class. Okay, and that method going to take the same employee object, this as a parameter, employee object as a parameter. So that way I am defined, so that, see, this is the class utility. So in this class utility, I just taken a calculate PF and I declared I used a static modifier, so that we can use without creating a object for this utility. That is the use of static. We learned that. So I am creating a method, and for this method parameter I am taking as a employee type. That type I am using employee type, so that here I am returning the value. We know very well that example in our case, the PF will be calculated with basic salary into 12%. It's nothing but 12% of basic salary. Okay, so the 12% I converted to, so that 0.12 into basic salary. This is for the decimal. You know that M we are prefix like a suffixing. So, and then E into basic salary. So as here parameter we are getting as a employee type. So is nothing but employee type has the, here one more we declare like property to expose the private field basic salary. So that I used only a get accessor. I didn't use a set accessor because I want only value to return. I don't want value to set. I just default I assigned a 30,000. Even if we can make it here set also to assign the value, but just as a, for our example, as to make it a simple, that I used as a already I assigned 30,000, so that I am just using only to return the value in this property. Because here the fields I made it as a private. So if we make it this as a public, then no need this property. But just to give you a idea, as we already discussed about all this property and other things, I thought to put in this example multiple of whatever we learned. So basic salary I defined as a property. So using this property, we as in this class we have this property with the public access modifier, access specifier. So we can use that E dot basic salary. Okay, so this returns the calculate value of PF. So that only will get here the value, and that value will be displayed here. So this is the simple example. In this, if you observe here, we are passing the object of the same, whatever object created with this class, that object instance we are passing, so that that value will be accessed in this external class in this method, because here as a parameter, same object, employee object only as the parameter. So this is the example how you can use this as a qualifying the fields, as well as to pass as the object itself to pass as a parameter. Okay, so let we see how this in a execution, how it comes. Okay, I will just go to the Visual Studio. Okay, so I just copied all those things. So here in a practice class file we created earlier, that CS file. So in this earlier we had a class practice. So in the same file as we discussed, we can have a multiple classes. Okay, class employee and class utility. So I copied all the things, whatever we discussed, and here also all the things. Okay, now to test this, the program employee. So the type employee. So I am creating a instance for that type, employee type. Nothing but creating an object for the employee. So for that, we already have a constructor. So for constructor, we need to pass two fields, right? EMP name, EMP ID. So that is what the parameter is showing. I am passing as a name, a first name space last name as a name, and I am giving a ID as a 10,001. And then I am using E1 dot display employee. This is nothing but what the method we have defined in a class employee, and we given as a public and no return type, so that here we are calling like this E1 dot display employee. So now if we execute and observe the result, okay, let's see. Now the result, if you see, same we got the name, first name, last name we got, and ID, basic salary and PF. Even let we debug and see how the things will happen. Okay, so what I will do, I will keep here one debug point and all. Okay, then I will execute directly so that it allows to debug. Yeah, so now the pointer, execution pointer stopped here. So now here we have a debug, we have various options, step into F11, step over F10. So first we will do a step into. So step into nothing but if we do a F11 as a short key, so what it does, it's as the object, so it's going all the declarations and all the things, and then it will go to the constructor, right? So it's gone to the constructor. So now if you see here if you keep the mouse, by keep continue press F11 as a thing, skip into the short key for that. So now if you see here, this EMP name is referring as a this EMP name, it is default is null. And the right side, if you see, this EMP name is nothing but as referring as a parameter, it has the value first name, last name. So now if you do a F11, so this assign the value. So like that, it is resolving the names and it is assigning properly. Similar way, the display, if you go to display, now the first line, name, EMP name, if you see here, it displayed name and EMP ID. Now, this line, when we execute, what happens? Here we used a method. It is available in another class, and we are passing here as a object. This object itself, whatever the object we created, that object itself we are passing, so that that object, whatever the values it has, that values we can able to access in the calculate PF method. So even if you keep the cursor at this position, it's showing the type console app1 dot employee. So this is the type of this object, employee type, right? So it's showing. So now if you do a F11, so it will jump from display employee method to this method. And now if you go here, we got the E as a same object passed to here, so that this value, whatever we assigned over there, 30,000, we are getting, and it calculates, and then it will step into request to result in an automatic step over. It's showing yes. In here, in this case, the step over also we can use. Now if we give a yes, so it will continue. Why? Because it jumped to there, right? Return means it jumped to there, but still we to look at, we are doing this. And here one more option is there. Even you can, if you want to come out from this directly, the step over, if you do it, it will come out directly to here. Instead of doing a multiple step in with the F11, even you can, if you don't want to go each and every line in that method, you can use the F10 so that it will come out. So like that, various things are available here we can use when we are debugging. Now again, I am pressing a F11. So now again, it's come back where we call this method, display method, after creating the object, it comes back to there, and then the execution will stop because that is the end. So execution stopped. Now if you look at the result, what we got it. So this is how the usage of this keyword. Yes.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe to our channel for more videos.